Some of the downsides is vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, pancreatitis, gastroparesis, which, by the way, that's the mechanism of how the drug works. All those drugs on the left work by the same basic mechanism as they slow down the conveyor belt from your mouth to your toilet. It slows that process down. That's also called gastroparesis, which can lead to bowel obstruction, which is fatal in a ridiculously high percentage of those cases. Gallstone attacks, bile duct blockage, which is a surgical problem for immediate surgery. It lowers your basal metabolic rate. So what does that even mean? It's how many calories you burn per day doing nothing. It's your BMR, how many calories you burn per day doing nothing. Now, the problem with that is when you're on those medications, you're getting thinner, but you're getting fatter. Does that make sense? You're getting thinner, but you're getting fatter. You're getting thinner because you're losing weight, but your percentage of lean muscle to fatty tissue is going down because about 60% of the weight loss from those medications is bone, muscle, and connective tissue. So you're getting thinner, but you're actually getting fatter because you're losing muscle. And then when you come off the medications, you have less muscle mass, so you have a lower metabolic rate. So then when you start eating again, as everybody does, it starts to ramp that fat accumulation up tremendously. You lose the lean muscle mass, and it's a cost of anywhere for $1,000 a month or more. And people say, well, you know, my insurance pays for it. Well, that means we're all paying for it. And by the way, too, I always thought insurance companies had a vested interest in us being healthier. That nothing could be further from the truth. So ever since Obama initiated the Affordable Care Act, which has somehow made things much more unaffordable, it's like the Inflation Reduction Act where inflation goes up. This is all branding. But when they implemented that, they mandated that insurance companies could only keep 15% of the money they collect, only 15% could be kept as profit. The other 85% had to be doled out in benefits and surgeries and drugs. You get that? So it's the 85-15 rule. Would the drug company rather keep 15% of $1 billion or 15% of $1 trillion? Excuse me, the insurance company. They'd rather have a 15% of a much bigger pie, so they're incentivized for healthcare costs to continue to keep climbing because their 15% gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more we spend on healthcare costs. So the insurance company doesn't care about your health. The drug companies certainly do not care about our health, and largely the medical system doesn't either. And this is not an attack on doctors and nurses. There's some nurses here in the room right now. Those are some of the best. My sister's a nurse. Like, some of the best people on the planet are doctors and nurses. The problem is they're stuck in a system.